hard to refer to us as Bella's Chase, because obviously that's how you left us, and with some great memories as well. In a moment, your students are going to come in and join us. If you'd like to be upstanding when they come in, they're going to hopefully come up onto the stage and receive your round of applause, join their friends and families, and then we will start the awards for this evening. Okay, by the noise of it, I think they're on their way. Okay, if you'd like to stand. For such a long period of time, and what is a young life, you've got it all. You've got your ups and downs, your highs, your lows, your extreme happiness, your depths of sadness, your frustration, your fallouts with friends, especially when you're little in year 7 and 8, and those emotions come back too. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of you, watched some of your faces as you came in and you walked along to room 1 and 2, and it was all like, oh, I remember. And it's the same thing. Believe me, if you came back to your school 30 years later, you will still get those same emotions flooding back. It's quite bizarre. Class 2009, most of you, majority of you, did 5 years here as this education establishment, and as Mrs. Honeysett said, it started off as Avely, then it changed to Bella's Chase, and then just as you were finishing, I was out of the system. I wasn't in here from April onwards of your last year, because I was then setting up the academy. And although I was about every now and then, I wasn't really active. Mrs. Wheeler became the deputising, the acting head teacher. And thank you for that as well. So lots of the things that happened perhaps in the last few months I might have missed, but one thing I didn't miss was the prom. And that was absolutely wonderful evening. Thank you everyone here who came along for your company that evening. I remember, and if you haven't seen them, the photographs are just outside of the door, and you look like gods and goddesses. The efforts that people went to get dressed and it looked so beautiful. It really was wonderful to see. Driving up in limousines, it was like something out of a fairy story. Over those 5 years that you were here, an awful lot has changed, and sometimes you tend to forget. I don't know if you remember, but when you started here 5 years ago, I think we only had 1 ICT room. Now, if you imagine that in today's education, that would be outrageous. You know, Ofsted will come and close you within a second, because we've got, I think, 4 good, healthy rooms now, a good size. But when you started here, tiny little ICT room, we didn't have vertical tutoring, and we introduced that. BTECs, you were the first cohort to really go for lots of BTECs, and in different subjects. Remember the horses that I used to teach? That was always something that we loved. I had a group of students who did that from year 9, BTEC horse care, and we had amazing successes on that. It was a wonderful qualification. It got us in the Good Schools Guide, which we're still absolutely delighted about.